Hey everyone, Red here, and this is a Lich King tutorial. Speeded up so I can get it into less than 10 minutes for YouTube. So I've tanked this on my warrior, but this is on my feral druid as DPS, and it's a first kill for me, second kill for this guild. So we are all confident, but prepared to make mistakes and work around them. So this is the best tanking position we found for this particular boss. So you can see we're just between the pillar of rock at the bottom of the stairs and the stairs. The main tank is tanking the Lich King in that position. I'm DPSing from behind, and everybody DPSs the Lich King. The off tank is picking up the Drudge Ghouls and the Shambling Horrors and making sure that the Shambling Horrors are facing away from the rest of the raid, so they've got a pretty nasty damage effect that they do. That's a cone. So nuke the Lich King down as fast as you can. Now what we're doing here is we're dispelling Necrotic Plague, which I'll get in a moment, when we're near the Shambling Horrors. So when I get the Necrotic Plague, there it is, I run to the Shambling Horrors, nod in front, get dispelled, and run back behind the Lich King. It's the Necrotic Plague that kills all of the adds that the Lich King summons. So the main tank sticks to the Lich King and then moves away. We all move to the edge of the platform for phase 1.5, and the off tank stays at the edge in the corner until all the ghouls and the Shambling Horror is dead. Carry on dispelling the Necrotic Plague when it's on him. Raging spirits that get summoned, bring them to the tank, wait until he's picked them up, and then nuke them as fast as you can. Brilliant tank here. His instant threat is really insane. It's very, very good. Something that warriors are excellent for. So we burn the Raging Spirits down as quickly as we can. Now we've allocated a couple of ranged DPS to kill the little frozen ice spheres that come out from the middle of the platform. You don't want to go into the middle of the platform with one of those still up, or you'll get blown off of the edge of the platform and you'll die. Everybody groups up into the middle, and we're doing that because a Valkyrie comes down and it picks somebody up. In this case it picked me up. Now I was one of the guys allocated to stun. Unfortunately, because I was picked up, I wasn't able to do that stun. So I nearly got chucked over the edge. Just made it. Thankfully the DPS in this guild are really excellent. So finish off the ads and back to the Lich King. Now what we're doing here is we're alternating from being in the middle and being on the outside. Made a bit of a mistake there with the Defile, came down, and then a Valkyrie picked somebody up at the edge. But hey, that's what your cooldowns are for. The tank here is fantastic. He zooms over, shockwaves and stuns the Valkyrie, which gives us time to burn it down. We blew a few cooldowns and saved that person. You need as many people to survive this as possible, especially on 10 man, when you haven't got that many people in the raid in the first place. So you can see people have dropped the Defile over at the edge, perfect position. Now everybody back into the middle, even the tanks, because on the go before this we wiped because the Valkyrie picked up the main tank while he was being hit by the Lich King, which wasn't much fun. It surprised us, we didn't think that was possible, and caused a wipe. So on this go we moved everybody to the middle, including the tanks. Finish off the Valkyrie and back to the Lich King. So again, looking for the Defile that's going to happen in a moment. In about 5 seconds. So the Defile got put in a pretty nice position there. Fantastic work by that druid. Just where you want it. Everybody back to the middle and kill the next Valkyrie. It's good to place the Lich King there because any splash damage ends up on the Lich King as well. Now we're being a little bit careful with the Lich King and how we do this this phase, because we don't want a Valkyrie up at the same time as a phase transition. So just need to time that. It's something you'll get with practice. So in comes the next ad. Hunter drops the trap perfectly, gets it set off, slows the ad, and we burn it down. Watching out for Defile. And the dots are pretty much going to kill that ad, and the player is saved. Back to the Lich King. And now we're moving to the edge of the platform, so we drag him all over. We're all calling out on vent, move to the edge. Remorseless Winter gets cast, and we run onto the platform that gets raised, and then we get another Raging Spirit, and he'll summon another few as well. So burn those down. Again, ranged DPS, make sure that you're killing those spheres that get summoned from the middle. Don't get in front of these ads. The tanks need to be very careful when they pick them up, not to turn them to face the raid, or it will cause an awful lot of trouble. So burn them down as fast as you can. The faster you kill these raging spirits, the easier the transition is going to be to the next phase. So here's the transition, run in quick so that the platform doesn't take you with it when it collapses. Carry on burning down the raging spirits. Do your best to stay behind them. It's quite tricky as a melee when a tank moves them around because they do tend to move quite randomly. As I've tanked these on my warrior, I can attest to that being a little bit challenging sometimes. Now we're into a phase where we get vile spirits. Now these are little ghosts that the Lich King summons above his heads, and then they chase people, particularly healers. Now ranged DPS, you're going to need to burn those down. Melee, you can't do anything about it, so carry on killing the raging spirit and then move on to the Lich King. Now what's happening here is there's a defile, get out of the way, good position to drop it in. What's happening here is that the tanks are rotating this Lich King between them. Now they're doing that to survive something called Soul Reaper, which does an awful lot of damage on the tank. And they're also moving the boss from side to side of the platform to avoid the vile spirits. So there's the vile spirits cast, everybody runs to the other side of the platform, dropping the defile in a good position, and carry on DPSing the Lich King, whilst range are nuking the little ghosties that are flying around in the air. So somebody managed to unfortunately die, so quick rebirth and innovate, kind of necessary because that was one of our main healers. Don't run back in there when you've got the vile spirits going because they do quite a lot of AoE damage when they explode. Carry on burning the Lich King down. Now this fight is finished at 10%, not at 0%. So at this point, with 28% left on the boss, we're pretty excited. Me in particular, because this was a first kill. So again, look out for the defiles. Brilliant place to drop the defile there, just right. Now these defiles do time out, so you can see that we've got now a clear path because one of them's timed out. Watch out for the vile spirits again. And we've got defile casting very, very soon. And I cast it in the right space, I picked the right direction to go. And it's so important, it's something we learned, was to put the defiles down in the right space. So you can see now the other defiler's timed out, which means we've got a nice clear kite path for the tanks, so we don't mess up what the tanks are trying to do, because the tanks have got a lot to manage and cooldowns to rotate and taunt between each other. So now you can see that the other tank pulls to the other side of the platform, and we carry on fighting. Now I got portaled into the throne room in this fight, so you get something called Harvest Soul cast on you, which will happen in a little bit, and you'll see what happens when you go into the throne room. Now inside that throne, you're going to need to, if you're a healer, you're going to need to heal the NPC that's in there that's friendly, and as DPS you need to kill the bad guy that's in there. If you've got an interrupt, you need to interrupt a particular spell. So I'll show you that in a second. So here we are, nearly finished the fight, only 4% left to kill with the Lich King. I get portaled in and I have to kill the Spirit Warden. So you will see he casts a spell any second called Soul Rip, there it is, and that's the one that I'm interrupting. And it means that you can DPS down with a little bit more comfort. I came out of the throne room and immediately the whole raid gets killed. Now that's because we pushed the Lich King below 10%, which means we've won. So a lot of nerd screams, including me, on the Ventrello server. A little bit of a cutscene and chit chat and you get rezzed. And now it's a free for all, anybody can kill the Lich King at this point. In fact, if you do no DPS, he will still die, it just takes quite a long time for the NPC to kill him. Alright, first kill, and I became exalted with the faction in here at the same time. Fantastic. Great fun. Thanks to the guild that helped me do this. Cheers, bye.